Warning, this video contains spoilers for the game A Hat in Time. This includes spoilers from the first 10 minutes of plot and some of the late game areas and late game bosses visually. There's got to be an interesting game around here somewhere. It's been ages since I've gotten to sunk my teeth into something. Well, hello there. A Hat in Time, huh? It's got a pretty art style, decent reviews. Yeah, I'll take a crack at it. I just hope it doesn't turn out to be another Mighty Number 9 situation. Good gravy. A Hat in Time is a quote-unquote cute as heck 3D platformer created by game studio Gears for Breakfast. It's been in development for over 4 years now, in which time the developers have poured their blood, sweat, and most likely tears into crafting the game we have here today. Now, while I've never played Banjo-Kazooie ever before in my life, my entire childhood was littered with 3D collectathon platformers, specifically games from the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2, such as Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon, Jak and Daxter, and Muppet Monster Adventure. Wait, what was that last one? I guess you could say one of those things is not like the other. We here at Cucumber Reviews would like to apologize for the weakness of the previous joke. Rest assured, for his crimes against comedy, he will be dealt a quick and painful punishment. Wait, what? The game begins with our main character, hold on one moment. Hat Kid. Yeah, alright. We find her beginning her day on her absolutely awesome spaceship. Seriously, this thing has a pillow pool right next to her bed. Who the hell wouldn't want to live in a place like this? After stuffing about for a bit and playing with the cutest Romba robot I've ever seen, we are shown that Hat Kid is on her way back home, when suddenly we're interrupted by the Mafia. I'm sorry?
What is this? Flying boat? All boats need to pay toll in Mafia Town. Even in space. Mafia come in to collect.
He tries to come into the ship to collect payment, not understanding how space works, obviously. We then shut the door on him, thinking that we're all fine and dandy, until he just decides to smash through the window. We are then sent flying out to the depths of space, heading towards the planet below us. As we do, we see the fuel compartment of our ship fly wide open, and all of our precious fuel to get us home is sent flying out with us. This sets up our base objective: gather up all the fallen timepieces so that we can continue our journey home. A simple plot, but that's all that's needed to explain why Hat Kid would be making this perilous trek into a variety of dangerous situations. And if you are someone who is looking for more of a story, each and every world has a variety of subplots for you to experience, and I must say, each of them have a ton of charm, wit, and most importantly, they're all extremely memorable. And with that, we should progress into talking about the game's visual art style because, well, if it doesn't just rumble my grundle. This game has some of the most creatively beautiful and bright art I have ever seen. I find the chibi and almost clay-like models comparable to games like Zelda Wind Waker, but the way this game crafts its world with colors and interesting locations that perfectly complement each other, it just creates a recipe that allows the game to drown itself in a thick layer of atmosphere. Not to mention how cute everything looks. I know I keep saying that, but I swear to God, this game looks as though it could have been ripped straight from a Saturday morning cartoon. Each location feels its own, and there are some genuine moments when this game took my breath away. I mean, just look at this. This is freaking incredible. This level of detail also drips into the world's occupants, with each character having interesting characteristics, different lines to say, and all being amazingly designed. All the characters are designed with their world's theme in mind, and are easily some of the most awesome looking and sounding characters I've ever seen. That's right, sound. Most, if not all, these characters are fully voice acted, and incredibly well too, might I add. These fully voiced characters give A Hat in Time this extra layer of personality that I have yet to experience in other 3D platformers. Special mention to the performance of Youngtown as the Snatcher. By God, man, you put an uncomfortable laugh into my stomach with every single line you spoke.
Expecting to get your soul back just because you completed your initial contract, were you?
The characterization even goes a step further, with a small little character interaction interactions that you can do with many of the NPCs, from latching on to a noose who really wants to have a look at your neck.
No, I haven't seen a good solid neck like yours for a long time.
Bad touch, bad touch, bad touch, bad touch! To having deep and meaningful conversations with a mafia barman right before a tough fight.
Troubling you, little girl. Mafia not know what child dream.
One OJ, please. Make it fizz. Oh. Thank you. And you've got a keen eye, barman. This is the girl, you know. Beautiful little thing, but she's been driving me up the wall since I met her. She has this beautiful blonde hair, this lovely blonde mustache, and this flowing red cloak of... Sorry, mate. You don't need to be hearing about all this. It's my problem.
Whatever problem is, Mafia sure you can deal with it.
Are you sure about that, Mafia?
You look like tenacious type, not leave problem alone.
Kind words, Mafia. I thank you profusely for them.
Other little girl run into kitchen if you are looking for her. She look like unruly type. Keep eye on her.
Aye, she's mine. I'll go check to make sure she's not gotten herself in trouble. But thank you, Mafia. You're a goddamn legend. Also, may I have a moment of your time to show you how beautiful the music is? However, one of the main things I was scared of when picking up this game originally is that it would turn out to be another style over substance situation. So, was that the case? Nah! Hatkid's movements are fluid and responsive, with her having both a double jump and a mid-air dash that allows her to cover an enormous amount of ground. You're able to jump and zip around the map with an incredible amount of ease. The developers were thinking ahead though, and they added, with the dash, a mid-air brake that allows you to stop at any time. This way you can effectively and easily control the trajectory of your jumps, making any mistake you make your own. While these aren't anything special on their own, the way the levels are designed in conjunction with these controls is a near perfect match made in heaven. Almost everything that you can see in a stage can be used by Hatkid to travel to her destination. This allows the player to create their own pathways, possibly diverting completely from what the developers had intended. And that isn't even counting Hatkid's namesake, all the hats that she can acquire. Around the levels there are these balls of yarn that you can collect, and as you collect them, you're able to use them to stitch brand new hats that give new abilities to Hatkid. These new abilities aren't small changes either. Many of them open up new pathways of the level and allow her to find more hidden collectibles throughout the stage and have more gameplay styles to dispatch with enemies. Not to mention that every ability is just flat out fun to use. But wait, good viewer, there's more. Around the different worlds you can find this creepy merchant who will sell you different badges. These badges give you additional upgrades, from making collectibles fly to you if you're in a certain radius of them, to giving you a goddamn laser cannon! Yes, give me all the power. And while we're on power, let's bring up the boss battles. They're all stunning displays of grand visuals and beautiful music. They all have great moments of characterization throughout them as well, with many of them taunting you and discussing things with you while you're fighting them. This leads to a variety of interesting dynamics between you and each and every one of the bosses. Mechanically, many of the bosses are great. Some of them even switch it up from the classical 3D plane that we're used to and turn it into a 2D boss fight. It adds just that nice little extra bit of variety. Now, while this game is all these things and more, there are a few things about the game that kind of bugged me a little bit. Firstly, while I did just praise the bosses, some of them leave a little bit to be desired. Some just felt to end too soon, right as they were beginning to ramp up as well. I'm not saying that they're bad, far from it, just that they felt like they could have been extended for just that little bit while longer. Another thing that bugged me was the way that the badge system seemed to be limited by the grappling hook badge. The grappling hook is an item that is compulsory to completing some aspects of the game, and as such, most of the time it takes up one of your 3 slots. This then gives you 2 options. You either A, have to change the grappling hook badge out over and over again, or you just have to leave it in and be limited to only 2 badge slots. I feel as though the grappling hook could have worked better as a permanent upgrade. And the last thing I found to be annoying was the fact that some of the items in the world that you thought would be solid items you could stand on, instead turn out to have no physical presence, leading to falling and possible death. I mean, I'm not crazy, right? That does look like a platform you should be able to jump on, right? This could just be a glitch with my game, but if it isn't, then I feel as though it's a weird design choice in a game where almost everything else has collision to have only a few items in the world that don't have it. But the question is, are these things bad enough to detract from the overall experience? Not in a million years, bucko. Those small details can never change the game we have here today. Awesome visuals, awesome characters, awesome gameplay. Not to mention again, it's all so goddamn cute! And with more levels, modding support, and co-op on the way, this could be one of those games that just keeps on giving. However, for everything I've said in this video, there is one thing that makes me love A Hat in Time so very, very much, and I believe it is the one thing a game should be judged on in the very end. It's fun. It's good, cute, kiddie, wholesome fun. And that is why, with a humble heart, I recommend this game to anybody who is even slightly interested in it. Even if you wait for a sale, grab it then. Give this game and its developers all the love that you possibly can, because, in my little opinion, with this game, they've 100% earned it.